It's beautiful is right. And it's a great day for lacrosse. And let's see how this number 2 Georgia Tech ranked team is going to
Lead 1-0.
Was that Holland Frost, right?
That was Holland Frost on the goal.
His 8th goal of the year.
Frost, a junior out of Marietta, first team all-conference last year in the SELC, and that is the Southeastern Lacrosse Conference. Michigan State now, they come in, this is their first game of the year. They come in at number 14 in the country. Georgia Tech coming in at number 2 in the country. Georgia Tech 6-0 and have a 1-0 lead here. Glad that you're with us from Rostamps Field.
They're off to a fast start.
An illegal procedure on Michigan State. It'll be Georgia Tech possession, and here they come crossing the midfield line.
Looking to get it in the box. Now they got their touch. Now they're getting ready.
Put it down in the alley, and holding is Brian Connolly. Connolly now going to take it and go in back behind. Going to take it and spin back, being worked on defensively by Bennett Dubinski.
Brian Connolly's their number 1 scorer, so keep an eye on him this afternoon.
Leading them also with 28 points.
Amen.
Here comes the attack. Frost in with a shot. Goal!
Beautiful
Holland
shot.
Frost.
Frost is on fire.
He is coming out there at the 13:55 mark here in this first quarter. Holland Frost with his 2nd goal of the day. Came into the contest with 15 points, and he's tacked on 2 more with those 2 goals. And the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech lead Sparty from Michigan State 2-0.
If they can keep up what they've been doing in the first 6 games, I think they had 52 goals against 21 against. So that's been a good stand for them.
4.3 goals against, Bob, and this Georgia Tech team, as we mentioned, number 2. They like to push the tempo, they like to press you with the defense, and they've came out right now with that tempo and got 2 early goals from Holland Frost.
I'll tell you what. Another
by Andrew Yee.
He's their best face-off man, at least statistically wise, what we've seen.
Conley holds it now. He's in the right alley being worked on by Dybzinski. Bennett Dybzinski back in defense. And now here's Conley. Conley going to wrap around. Long pole. Dybzinski really giving him fits. They swing it back around this way. Here's Chris O'Brien. O'Brien back out to the top to Jarrett Gant. So Tech will set it back up and have a substitution as well. Tech leading now 2-0 early on Michigan State. We've not played 2 minutes. It's been Holland Frost with the first 2 goals here in the open.
Here comes Radke in the game, number 7.
Tech working in the box. They're moving left to right and being very patient. And now out head of the box, here's Radke. Radke going to try to go. Blew right by his man. Mortensen couldn't stay with him. There it is. Here's Mertz. Mertz gets in. Mertz, a shot, goal.
Nice shot by Mertz.
Ben Mertz in with the shot, and it is 3-0 Georgia Tech. They're feeling really good, and that's a local product out of Grayson High School. Ben Mertz for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
So far, the 2 local boys have shown up, Pope and Grayson.
Very much so, and Mertz, the senior out of Grayson in the midi, scores right there and came into the contest with 18 points. Tack on a goal right there. He has 19, and Holland Frost will go in, and him and Patrick Donovan, the sophomore out of Forest Hill Central, Michigan, will go for the faceoff. Tech has won all 3 faceoffs.
That's big. You win them faceoffs, you got possession. You're going to get goals. Their Georgia Tech's goalie's been having a great year, and he hasn't been tested at all.
Not so far in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and Georgia Tech going to try and get the ground ball, unable to do it. Michigan State now will pick it up and win their first faceoff of the day. And Michigan State now will rock it. They're going right to right. Here's Charlie Pissner. Pissner swings it over, and here's Mitch Newton. Newton now the senior. And an All-American for this Sparty bunch goes in back behind. Also joined in the attack by Brian Braun, number 26 in green, a senior. So Michigan State now going to try to slow this thing up. Working in the box now, slides back to the left alley.
He's going to draw a double if he doesn't. He's in trouble.
Yes, he is in trouble. Had to fling it back in, and now going to come out as Summerfelt. Summerfelt, the goalie, out of the crease with it, and now Georgia Tech will be looking for the clear. The pass and the ball is down here. Ground ball going to be scooped up in the middle by Braun. Braun scooped it up. And now here's Michigan State. They will work it in behind Braun, being pressured defensively and being smacked around by David Cyron, 35 for Tech. Now here is Kevin Horton. Horton Bob, one of those experienced players, doesn't do a lot of damage, but a senior out of Clarkston, Michigan, very effective for this Michigan State team last year, will be looked upon for senior leadership.
Yeah, they have a younger team. They have 2 All-Americans back. One is number 5, and the other one is their defenseman. Sorry, I lost his number.
Nick Green has it. Green got put down on him. Mertz knocked it free. Ground ball looking to be scooped up, and now it's going to be picked up and covered by Nick Green. Green now has it for Sparty, and they'll work it in back behind. 11-12 to go, first quarter. Michigan State opening game of the season for them, for Georgia Tech, this number 7. They're coming off a 13-3 victory over Auburn, and they played that at Lambert High School on Friday night. Auburn in that particular South.
First shot on goal and a save. Fans weren't crazy about that call.
They were not. Here is Michigan State operating now.
There's a little different vibe here at this field. You got the fans right on the sideline.
Right there on the sideline, the pep band down in this left corner, the sun fielding, splashing the field, almost completely full in the sun. Now here is Orton. Orton going to make his move and fires it back in behind. Michigan State wrapping it around and now trying to run their offense. They're trailing 3-0 here as we settle in the first quarter. Here's Orton. Orton in the box. Jab,
nice
makes his move.
Mertz.
There's a shot, and it's batted away. Summerfelt with a save, and now flag comes in. We may have a crease violation.
No, I think we got maybe a slash, maybe.
The table on the far side.
Yeah, it looked like a slash to the head.
So Georgia Tech now
Man down for 1 minute.
will be a man down, and Michigan State will be a man up.
We're going to have to apologize if we miss some calls because the referee's going to have his back to us. The table's on the other side of the field. So they're being patient right now.
Michigan
that
State,
back door.
yeah, they're trying. There's a shot. No, Summerfelt knocks it free. Michigan State going to chase, and they will retain the possession now.
Georgia Tech did a good job on that back door. They slid pretty quick.
Michigan State head coach Cam Holding. Now, interesting as we bring up him as they now work and try and score down 3-0 with 9.5 to go. He actually still plays professional lacrosse.
Playing on 2 teams in Colorado, the indoor team and their outdoor team.
And still coaching in this Michigan State ball club. This is their season opener again. They're working it very patiently. There's a move falling down. The shot is going to bounce off. No, and recovered now back by Tyler Vadenstreut.
The penalty's been killed, and they're back to full strength.
Tech pulled off that penalty kill now, and here are Sparty and State now working, trying to get some points here early. Working in back behind.
I'm impressed with Tech's defense so far. They're doing a nice job sliding, protecting the back door, and man on man, they're doing a good job.
Michigan State being very patient, but unable to get anything right now going into the cage. Working back in, back behind. Here is Newton. Newton, the senior, and an All-American out of Rockford, Michigan. Coming in back behind, there's Newton. Newton slides it in. It's not there. Good defensive effort and pressure coming in by Nick Marazzo. And the ball is loose back higher in the midfield. Tech going to chase it down and pick up the ground ball now coming down out of the right wing area. Here he comes on the clear. A beautiful move. Here's Jack Topping. Topping now going to take it. Long pole, pull it back out in the left alley. Now he sweeps it over to the right side, and Tech will be patient with it. Set it up at the top. Here's Conley. Conley, top of the box, not in the box yet.
No, he stepped in. I think he got to step in, just waiting for his pole to get off. Now they're changing some men on the fly, getting their offense ready. I'm impressed. They're a patient team. They play really good defense.
Sam Ford back on now, a junior out of Geneva, Illinois, for the Jackets as they work it back in behind. Now Georgia Tech with a 3-0 lead early and looking for more. Working back in behind, and now here is Ford. forward in the alley, now pops it back around to Gorman. Gorman now swings it back, and the Yellow Jackets now will attack from the top, angling to the right inside of the box, now holding it and firing over to the right. Now they get it back in, back behind, and now working with it is Chris O'Brien. Work it back around to the left, and now here is Tim Peterson. Peterson trying to make his move. Donovan really giving him fits. Donovan rolled him down, and they'll take it away. And now here's Michigan State. Good defensive effort there in Michigan State with a nice crowd. You mentioned the crowd earlier, Bob. They've got a nice little section down here below us. A lot of that Spartan green.
They all left the snow to come down to the warm country.
Michigan State now crossing the midfield line. And there is a fake. He's bringing it on. That is Bennett.
That was a pretty easy clear, but now. Oh.
Man, it's very physical. Out of bounds, and let's see.
It's off of Tech.
It will go off Tech, and it will be Michigan State within the possession. Danny Myers, a senior out of Detroit Central Catholic, now in 21 in green for the Spartans. And also Brian Braun, he will remain in. Brett Braun back behind the net. Here is Braun. Braun holding it. Now he swings it over. Here's Mitch Newton. Newton now back out to the top, and Hunter Stavins is on. Stavins is on. Back from the top. Here comes Ben Sims. Sims makes his move. Got checked hard to the right. Now he's going to spin back to the middle. Looking, not there. Goes to the right. Got it knocked away from behind. Ball is on the ground. Rolling, chasing for it. Ground ball scooped up by Tech.
Sam Rubin did a really nice job on defense there. Kept them down, pushed them out of the alley, and then he did a nice man ball, and Tech's got possession.
Matarazzo now will cross the midfield line for the Jackets. And they will set it up, goes through the wing area now into the alley. Conley couldn't get the pass cleanly through his cross. He goes and scoops it up. Still deep in that right wing.
I think the Suns a bit of a problem right now because they're looking right into it.
From that direction, yes, Sun headed west. Tech working it back in behind. Now they're over to the left, and here's Mertz has it as he steps into the alley. Now swings it back up to the top, and here's Holland Frost. Frost going to make his move. Frost into the middle. There's the pass. Cross court. Looking. Scoop. Low. No. They tried to be patient. Conley over to Peterson. Peterson's shot is no, but Tech will retain the possession. 5:34 to go. Georgia Tech leading Michigan State 3-0. 2 Holland Frost goals and then a Ben Mertz goal.
Looks like they got all their scorers on the field right now.
Radke will pick it up. And the band with the chant going, waiting on the ref to let us go with 5:34. Radke takes it and fires it to Frost. Frost now into the middle. They'll work it around. There's O'Brien. O'Brien to Mertz. Mertz to Peterson. Now back to Mertz. Here's Frost. Frost steps in, swings it over to the right. Radke really being worked on, smacked on. Good defensive pressure there by Donovan again. Tech coming in offensively, averaging 14.6 goals through their first 6 games. Defensively, 4.3 goals under head coach Ken Lovick.
Coach Lovick in his 20th year does a heck of a job with this team.
In there, scooped up. Bad pass there, tried to flip it in there. Chris O'Brien was there, and Holland Frost tried to flip it into him. It was down on the ground and picked up, and now here comes Michigan State. Man, he got popped as he turned right there into the middle. Is Mortensen. Mortensen has to flip it back now, unable to clear. Freshman goalie number 40, Justin Overstreet, a freshman for Michigan State. So the season debut in his very first game in goal. Here comes Donovan. Donovan in. Donovan shot high. Stoppage in play, and now Newton will bring it in. Newton in the box, being worked on a long pole of Will Byers. Byers, the junior, does a lot of damage with that long pole. So Michigan State trailing 3-0, 4:18 to go. And the Georgia Tech defense has not allowed anything down here in the box. Here comes Horton. Horton now still out to the top, now waiting to get set and get onside. Now moving in, and here comes Mark Track. Shot, no.
He was on the doorstep, let it go, it was high.
Yep, it will be recovered now, and here is Michigan State. They'll operate with it, and Track has it. Track back. Oh, picked it up. There's Nick Green. Green scoops it. Working on the right side now. Michigan State being deliberate and being patient, but a lot of that has to do with this Georgia Tech defense.
I'm liking the defense by number 23, Sam Rubin. He's doing a nice job. He's just not giving that alley to this guy.
And the backside spins, getting checked hard back behind is Braun. Braun unable to do anything with it. It comes back out to Green. Horton now gives it over. We'll check it now. 18 is on for Michigan State, unlisted on the official roster. So they must have had a late jersey change. We'll get 18 corrected for you here in just a moment. Kevin Horton hails it out high. Now goes into the box, moving to the right. Goes cross into the middle. Not there. Michigan State will trip it up.
Going over to Tech.
Nope, it will stay with Michigan State. And Tech agrees with you. They wanted to know how they did not get the possession.
I don't know how that happened.
Mitch Newton now is in behind for Michigan State. As we go under 3 minutes to go, Joe Hilsman and Bob Lombardo, glad that you're with us. Season opener for Michigan State and our first college event here on Lacrosse Fire TV.
I think we got a move and pick on that one. That's why Tech just took over possession.
So Sommerfeld, also out of Pope High School, comes out and looks for help. Now, is he going to take it the whole way? No, he's going to fire it over to the right, and they'll get it into the midfield area and past the midfield area, now swinging down into the box. So Tech now will set it up. Jared Gant had it. Now they get it back in behind, and here is Peterson. Peterson being worked on by Donovan. Now kicks it back out to the top, and they'll hold it with Sam Ford. Ford in and back out of the box. Ford now swings it over, and here's Jack Gorman. And Tech now setting up the offense, and here coming on the attack is Jared Gant. Gives it to the back to O'Brien. O'Brien flowers it around, and they will work it up. Nothing there. Ford goes back up top, and now and here's Gorman. Gorman will make his move, stop, peel it off. Connolly back in. Tech now showing some patience, and the Michigan State defense kind of being a little relentless there. As Grant Kearney back there from Whale Lake Central on that backside playing good defense behind the cage. Here is Gant now. Gant going to try to get a move on. Use a juke, gets into the box, moving to the right. Got checked from behind, stop, moves. Now he cuts back in. Gant gives it over. Not looking for a shot is Ford. No, Peterson, Tim Peterson worked on by Donovan. Long pole of Donovan. He has really been active so far defensively. There's a shot wrapped around, no. Michigan State tried to chase it down, did not. It'll go over to Georgia Tech. Good hustle there on the back line by Chris O'Brien. Michigan State, they play in the CCLA, and that's the Central Collegiate Lacrosse Association, Division I. And in that conference is Central Michigan, Davenport, of course, Michigan State, Oakland, Pitt, Toledo, and Western Michigan.
Another nice clear by Tech. Tell you what, Michigan stepped into a hornet's nest when they schedule this as their home as an opener.
But so far, they've settled down now since giving up those 3 quick early goals. Gave up 3 goals in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Have not allowed a goal yet now as we come up on 30 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Holland Frost with 2 goals and Ben Mertz with a goal for Tech. So the Jackets now will take it back in behind the cage with Radke. Radke gonna spin, got a double putt on him a little bit. Now here's Kearney, the fine defenseman, in the middle to Peterson. Peterson a shot, no, wide to the right.
Just wide. Nice
Peterson was right there in the middle. Tim Peterson, 21 points on the season. Final 6 seconds now, moving in with 2 seconds. There's a shot to the right. No, good save by the young freshman, Justin Overstreet. And we are at the end of the first quarter.
This Lacrosse Fire TV broadcast is brought to you by Lace Up with LAX, ending homelessness one step at a time. CBA Sports, your sports construction specialist. A Joe for LAX, the Andrew Oswald Memorial Fund, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine, dedicated to all better.
here at Georgia Tech, downtown Atlanta. Michigan State and Georgia Tech in an early first quarter, and it was a 3-0 game right now. Holland Frost with 2 goals and Ben Mertz with a goal. And let's talk about some of the key players first. Let's take a look at Brian Connolly. We talked about him, Bob, in the open. Second team all-conference attack last year. Leads the team this year with 28 points. Even though he has not scored in goal now, our second key player will take a look at Matthew Summerfield, goalie, and has done a splendid job so far, coming in 70% save percentage this year, 56 saves on the year, Bob.
Yeah, he's another. I mean, when you got that kind of goalie, that makes your defense really work. And Tech's playing good defense as it is, but when you got a guy that can stop 72% of the shots, you're going to be in a lot of games. Oh, that was just a bad pass there.
We flipped the field, and Georgia Tech, they are in the white. They're moving right to left, and Michigan State, of course, in that Spartan green, and they are going left to right. So Overstreet, the goalie now, will walk up. Almost coming all the way to the midfield line. Not all the way. The yellow lines are the lacrosse lines that we're playing here under the collegiate rules. Into the middle now and gets it into the 4. Looks nice little move right there on the fake. Now he's coming through the wing area.
Good
Swings
check.
up into the ball's on the ground. Ground ball pickup. And here comes Jack. Topping now with it for Tech. Into the box. Topping, moving with the long pole. Topping now going to come in on the attack. Topping right there in front. Tried to scoop it in the back door. Didn't go. Nice job by Overstreet, Justin Overstreet, the freshman, getting a workout. Gave up those 3 early goals. Seems to have settled down some.
I don't think Coach Lovick is going to be impressed with that shot. A one-handed scoop shot with a 6-foot pole didn't put a lot on it.
Yeah, Topping tried to do that, and it did not work for the Jackets here. A minute gone by in this second quarter. Crowd still kind of filing in. And once again, a lot of Michigan State fans. We've got the Tech band here as well as a very festive atmosphere here at Rostamps Field.
Seems like Tech's making the goalie clear the ball, literally, all the way upfield, and he's got to break down and get it into the attack.
Every time I see that, I think about the goalie from last season at Albany that went the entire way and scored the goal. The big goalie from Albany, his name escapes me, but a beautiful play last year in the tournament.
You don't see it often, but when it happens, it's fun to watch.
Michigan State working now on offense, trying to get their first goal. And, Bob, you and I, we talk about it, how important that first goal is. It's the tough one, the hardest one to get.
It
is that first one. Here's Horton. Horton moves in, being checked very hard by the Tech defense. Man, he got his wood laid to him. Sam Rubin, a sophomore out of Woodstock, Georgia, laid some wood defensively there.
He's playing some excellent defense so far.
Spin in front into the crease. It's on the ground. Nope. Whistle. Crease violation. It'll go over to Georgia Tech. So here's Summerfelt in goal. Will walk up with it.
Got a little break here. Mini break.
All the way on the clear. Take it. There's Peterson. Peterson dumps it to O'Brien. A shot. Wide to the left. No.
It's a nice shot, high to low. I should say low to high.
Substitutions for both Michigan State and for Georgia Tech. Tech now will be operating in that left alley. Connolly, who we just talked about, back in 13.
All right, that's that over and back rule.
Over and back called on Georgia Tech. Topping had a few words with the official, not trying to hear it. Ball is live here, State into the box. Michigan State now will bring it back, and holding it back high is Pinster. Charlie Pinster, a freshman, Mitty, 32 in green, or the freshman there, making their moves. And it was interesting, Bob, in our talk with Coach Cam Holden, he really didn't know what to expect from his bunch as this got this new season underway.
No, they lost an All-American goalie last year. They returned 2 All-Americans, number 5, their attackman, and 22, Donovan, the defenseman.
State now working it around back behind the cage. 11.5 to go, second quarter. Glad that you're with us here on Lacrosse Fire TV. There's a move in by Newton. Newton now spins it off, and Tech now playing great defense.
Nice
Summerfelt intercepted the pass.
Yep, nice job.
Deflected the pass and recovered it. The goalie Summerfelt, now he'll bring it up for the clear for Tech. Summerfeld now going to fire it long, and there he has it to Cyron. David Cyron, now they're into the box, and there's O'Brien. O'Brien holds back to the left alley. They'll go back to the top now, and here's David Cyron. Cyron now long pass across to the right side of the box to Radke. Radke came right off the bench and caught that. Here's Peterson. Peterson now works it around to O'Brien. Tech being patient as they set it up. Keeping it in front is Holland Frost. Frost spins it over to the right. The Radke, and they'll work it back behind. There he's going to try
move.
on the end. Shot,
There it
goal,
is.
flag down. Let's check it.
And we're getting the push in the back.
Conley with the goal. Let's see if it will stand with 10:40 to go. It will. So Conley, we just talked about him here to start this second quarter, and he goes in and gets a goal. His first goal in this contest. Oh, Brian Conley out of Warwick, New York.
Well, while Michigan's still looking for the first, Tech just put in their fourth.
And it took a little while for Tech to be able to go in there and put in that fourth goal. It seemed like Michigan State had somewhat settled down at the moment, but have now given up another goal, and they are feasting now on young Justin Overstreet, the freshman goalie.
I can see why Conley has scored so much. He's got some quick feet. The pole down there in the corner overextended himself, and he blew right by him.
Face-off coming up now. And Frost will win it for Georgia Tech. Summerfeld fires it long into
Clear.
the midfield, and now here is Gant. Jared Gant now working down in the right alley. And they'll spin it back in behind, and here's Conley. Conley now from behind, gonna try to come right up on the cage. Unable to do it, kicks it back over to the left. Frost lets it bounce in front of him on that turf. Beautiful turf field, very soft and cushioned, and that allows for that speed. Frost makes his move into the middle, swings it over to O'Brien. O'Brien spins, gets it in front. There's a shot.
hit
Good
the
block
pipe.
there by Overstrike.
Hit the pipe.
Popped up from behind
Nice.
Holland Frost. An outstanding job. It's on the ground. Frost tried to save it and does.
He does.
Great hustle. Here's Peterson. Peterson in the alley. Peterson now on the block. Peterson looking, and he'll be patient with it, and the Georgia Tech crowd roars in approval there.
That was a beautiful play. Wraparound check, and then he saves it from going out of bounds.
Peterson now moving in. Peterson stopped behind the cage. No one there to help him. He spins it back out to the top. Here's Mertz. Mertz gets it in front. There's O'Brien. O'Brien spins away from it, looking for a shot. It wasn't there. Goes into the middle, and Michigan State will come away with it. Donovan with the long pole has it. O'Brien trying to pressure him. Donovan back behind.
And the clock is ticking. They got to get that ball cleared.
So now Michigan State will bring it up, and here's Bennett Dybzitsky. Dybzitsky now will have it, and they'll flip it into the front. Moves it into Mortensen. Mortensen will get it back in behind, and now Michigan State, with under 9 minutes to go, trailing 4-0, still looking and seeking for their first goal. Here's Pissner, Charlie Pissner in this right alley.
I'm impressed with our local talent that's playing today. From Etowah, Pope, Grayson, they're all showing out. It's good to see.
Michigan State now will hold it and work it around. Here is Horton. Kevin Horton, the senior, looking to make his move. It wasn't there, so they'll spin it back in behind. Tech defense now really making Michigan State really work offensively, and they've not even had a lot of shots on goal. Track a shot. Go. No. Wide to the right. No good. Mark Tratt, the junior out of DeWitt, Michigan, unable to do it. Now Topping going to have to chase down and pick up the ground ball. Kept it in, yes.
Kept it in. Nice play.
It was not Topping, excuse me. That's Siren, David Siren with it. Siren working in the middle, and now gives it over. Here's O'Brien. O'Brien going to use some speed and angles over to the right alley, and he'll set it up. Being worked on defensively there by Grant Kearney. Kearney, a long pole, really effective for Michigan State. Back in behind, here's Conley. Conley now will go back down into Peterson. Peterson back out to Conley, and now Conley will work with the left. Getting smacked on defensively. Good defensive pop there by Dybzitsky. Conley back behind the cage, working and looking at it with 7:25 to go.
Tech's being patient right now, which is good.
Very patient. It almost feels like they can score when they want to, but they've been patient and haven't made many mistakes. but they got those 3 quick early goals, and they only have 1 goal now here in this second quarter as we come up on 7 minutes to go. Conley in back behind and fires it over to the right alley, and they'll kick it back out. Here's Radke. Check it. No, that's going to be Kevin Chatlin in. Chatlin in, a freshman out of Audley, Maryland. And Richard Montgomery, here he goes. Here's Chatlin. Chatlin shot. No. Saved by Overstreet. Overstreet fires it to the right to the long pole of Donovan. Donovan being frustrated by Peterson, and he gets it across. Now into the wing area, and here comes Track. Mark Track into the alley. Fires it back in, and they'll set it up back in, back behind, and here is Brett Braun.
Now we'll see what they can do with it.
Horton holds left of the box. Coach Holding now gives out the offensive signal. Michigan State trailing 4-0. And you know, Bob, how quickly the game can change in a game of lacrosse. But right now, as the clock continues to move and the defensive pressure being put on by Georgia Tech, that 4-goal lead, it feels a little big at the moment.
It does. And right now what they're trying to do is invert and get a shorty on the backside with the get a shorty behind the goal playing defense, which they're not used to doing. Up, there's their first goal.
Michigan State scores. So they patience paid off, and they scored the goal.
Mitch Newton, number 5, they're All-American. He comes through.
Newton with that goal.
You know, the cream rises. They got us a good ball game here. These guys, both teams, well coached, handle the ball well. Right now, I give the edge to Georgia Tech's defense.
Michigan State may have settled in just a little bit now with that goal. So it's 4-1. With 5:49 to go here in this second quarter.
Oh, Tech just won another face-off.
Holland Frost gets it in. Shade now in on this west side of the field. In front. Let's see what we'll have. Crease, and it'll go over to Michigan State.
Crease violation.
Crease violation on the Jackets now. Michigan State trailing 4-1 with 5.5 to go. Scored on the last offensive possession. The long pole of Donovan now will bring it up, and let's see if he'll get the clear.
Well, that was a pretty easy clear.
Yes, it was. Took his time. Donovan gets it in.
Compared to what they were doing before.
Gave a little pick there, and they'll move it over. In now is Sam Euchre. Euchre, another defensive freshman. And midfielder for this Michigan State Spartan bunch. Michigan State working in this right alley. Defensive pressure being put on, but it's Charlie Pissner. Pissner gives it over, and they'll swing it out to the top. They'll work on it with Horton. Horton now across, and they'll dump it. Here's Newton, who just scored that last goal for the Spartans. Ball is on the ground now. It is scooped up.
Again, they're being patient.
Very patient at just whipping it around.
Last goal they set up by bringing they brought one of the midfielders from Tech behind with a short stick, and he beat his man and made a nice feed.
Newton on that back line in that right alley now has it, and they go back in, back behind the cage. Defensive pressure now from Sam Rubin. Michigan State now going to try and attack. Here is Tyler Van Choik. Van Choik makes his move.
Nice
Nothing
play by Jared to knock him back off his line.
Shot high, no.
Tough shot, tough angle.
We'll stay with Michigan State. Oh, what a check. Pop, Jared Gant just ate him for lunch. Here's Horton. Horton now swings it around to the top, and they'll work on it here on the left side and hold it now is Van Choik. Tyler Van Choik makes his move. Jab, shot. It's going to go off to the right, and it will stay with Michigan State.
Jared jacked him up pretty good.
With spring sports in full swing, many young athletes are suffering from pain caused by overuse injuries. The sports medicine team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta works with young athletes on proper sports mechanics and can analyze their motion to help avoid problems in the future. Visit choa.org/sportsmen to learn more.
I think we got a timeout by Michigan State.
Michigan State does call a timeout, their first timeout. It is now 4-1 Georgia Tech, leading the Spartans right here, Lacrosse Fire TV.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
bring him to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
With a 4-1 lead as Michigan State has a timeout, we talked, Bob, about how Georgia Tech 6-0. Let's take a look at how they got the season started. And right there against Vanderbilt, 21 goals. That's the season high. They're coming in averaging 14.6 goals, ranked number 2 in the nation. We're seeing a lot of that here today. They're in the SELC Conference in the Southwest Division, along with Auburn, Georgia Tech, Alabama, UGA, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. And they have a 13-3 victory over Auburn on Friday night.
Right. All right, coming out of a timeout, we'll see what they come up with from Michigan State.
Mark Track will have it, and Sparty will swing it around on this right side. Charlie Pilsner, 32, is also a freshman for the Spartans. Kevin Orton. Orton now swings it to Track, and they'll get it back in behind, and they'll dipstick it around. And here is Brett Braun. Brett Braun now goes back in behind, and Newton holds it now. Newton gonna try and come up. Good defense by Topping using that long pole. Getting in behind. Topping really won't let him do anything. So he kicks it back out. Ball is on the ground. Scooped up. Still in the box. Michigan State will be patient again and set up the operation with Orton. Orton goes across, now has it back up to the top. He steps into the box.
I'm impressed with Topping. He's a big guy, but he has really good feet. And he's drawn the job of taking care of Newton. They're all American. Well, ball's going to Tech.
Out of bounds, it will go to Tech. And a young lacrosse fan has it. He puts it back down, and Tech now will scoop it up, and we'll keep it moving. And here's Alex O'Connell, number 40 in white, a freshman out of Richmond, Virginia, into the contest now. Under 2 minutes to go before the half.
They have him listed as a defensive midi, and that's why you see him jogging off the field. Now they're going to go with their firepower.
Here's Ben Mertz. Mertz looking, stepped out, didn't go all the way into the box. Swings it over now. Here's O'Brien. O'Brien now goes back, and they'll swing it all the way and work it around. Here's Conley. Conley has it.
Staying in that open set, so it makes it tough for them to slide, but now they put a guy on the crease. That's Mertz on the crease, I believe, 27.
Yep, Ben Mertz in the middle, and now he comes back out. There's Radke. Radke now pops it back out to Mertz as we come up with 75 seconds to go. Mertz goes back in behind. Here's Peterson. Peterson flips it back over, and here's Frost. Holland Frost wanted to step into the shot, now spins, use some body, and now backs it back out.
Good defense there by number 19, Jay Warren.
Frost now going to attack. Frost goes in, shot, low, bounce it back. Ground ball scooped up by Mertz.
I jinxed 19. I just said he played good defense, and he goes running by it. And then, what's his name? Running right by him. Holland, Frost.
Peterson now holds it back behind. Here is Mertz. Mertz going to go in. Mertz a shot. Save. Knocked away, but it's right there in front. Radke goal on a putback. With 31 seconds,
Radke.
number 7, Danny Radke, a senior out of Chesterfield, Missouri. .31 seconds left in the quarter, and they put another one in. That's a big goal there, momentum there.
Yep.
Going in the end of half, Michigan State, as you had mentioned, were playing good defense. That fired up that Tech band down here and fired up that Tech alumni and Tech fans that are here at Stamps Field. Lacrosse Fire TV, Joe Hilsman and Bob Lombardo here with you. The final 31 seconds, Tech with a 5-1 lead. They got 3 goals in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Oh.
Popped up high.
Oh.
Still on the ground. Tech looking to scoop it up. They will, and they'll win that faceoff.
They won the faceoff. That's another one. I think that's 5. 5 out of 6 they've won.
So Sommerfeld would hold it. Final 15 seconds here. Fires it in, and it'll be intercepted. And now here's Michigan State. They'll come try to go quickly. Long pass it'll go, and it will go over to Tech with 2 seconds. And that will be 1 second now. And once we blow the whistle, we will be at the half. And we are now at the half. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets leading the Michigan State Spartans 5-1 halftime of the Coaches Church's Cancer Game on the East, right here on the Crossfire TV in Rostamps Field.
This Lacrosse Fire TV broadcast is brought to you by Lace Up with LAX, ending homelessness one step at a time. CBA Sports, your sports construction specialist. A Joe for LAX, the Andrew Oswald Memorial Fund, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine, dedicated to all better.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
bring him to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
We are at the half here at Rostamps Field. Joel Hilsman, Bob Lombardo here. It is 5-1 Georgia Tech leading Michigan State. The A-Joy LAX Festival features a great 5-game lineup each year with proceeds going towards scholarships, grants to youth, and high school lacrosse programs, as well as initiatives promoting team safety and making good choices to stay safe. So, Bob, quickly there, what'd you see in this first half? First half pretty much dominated by Georgia Tech with a 5-1 lead.
Well, I saw very, very good defense by Georgia Tech. Their man-to-man defense has played very well. I'm impressed with Ruben. He's really taking care of everyone that's come down the alley, and their offense is working. I mean, they're moving the ball well, and they're hitting the open guys. And when Michigan finally gets a shot, the goalie for Tech is taking care of it.
Mitch Newton, number 5, a senior, the lone goal scored for Michigan State, who entered this contest. This is their season debut. They have a 0-0 record. For Georgia Tech, their 5 goals. First, quickly, it was Holland Frost back-to-back goals that put Tech up 2-0. Ben Mertz added another goal that made it 3-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then Georgia Tech got a goal from Connolly and from Ratke in the second quarter, and that's how we get the 5-1 advantage. Now,
another feature I'm seeing is so far Tech is dominating the face-offs, which is always a great thing in lacrosse.
yeah, I had Georgia Tech with 7 there, in
Right.
that first half. Well, let's take a look quickly here at the Michigan State key players. We were unable to touch on that. We'll take a look. Joseph Schmidt, a defenseman, Grant Kearney, a defenseman, and Ben Simmons, a defenseman. We've seen Grant Kearney, 33, for the Spartans do work here defensively for the Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, Ben Sims, he's a midfielder. So you have you know, coach like he said, Coach
Holden, Cam Holden.
Coach Holden, that's right. He said before the game that I just asked. I said, "What do you think of your team? Where are you at?" He goes, "I have no idea. We haven't played yet."
And he's finding out right now. And you know, you take a look. We'll take a look at take a look at other key players from Michigan State. Kevin Horton. I talked about him with that experience. Hunter Stavins, we've seen him briefly, and Patrick Donovan, 22, with that long pole. What have you seen from Donovan so far defensively? It looks like Kearney and Donovan holding their weight defensively for the Spartans.
I was just going to say that they seem to be handling their end. Just got to get the rest of the green, take care of business. But this game isn't 5-1, 4-goal lead, half to play. This game could turn quick. We've seen that before, and we'll see how Georgia Tech comes out.
Yeah.
I don't plan on them sitting on their laurels.
They cannot. 5-1, it is the Yellow Jackets leading the Spartans. We are at the half right here in the Coaches versus Cancer game on the East Coast right here, Lacrosse Fire TV.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
bring him to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Very good. We welcome you back into a Rose Stamps Field, a beautiful 66-degree day. Georgia Tech and Michigan State as we begin the second half right here on Lacrosse Fire TV. Georgia Tech with a 5-1 lead. Joe Hillsman, Bob Lombardo. So, Bob, what do you think Coach Cam Holden said to his bunch at halftime to see what they can do to subtract this 4-goal deficit?
He probably said win a face-off.
Tech just won another one. Yes, sir.
Because they've had 8 face-offs that Tech's won, and they've won 1. And that's always, oh, there's a flag down. I don't know what the call is, but.
Table across on the far side as now the sun continues to head on out west, and we get more shade here on the field.
Looks like we got a 30-second offside penalty on Michigan State, so Tech will be a man up.
Georgia Tech at home in the white and ranked number 2 in the nation, and they have looked all of it for Coach Kevin Lovick's team. Coming in with wins over Vanderbilt, Boston College, Virginia Tech, who was ranked number 3 at the time, Indiana, and Auburn.
Yeah, they've taken care of business right down the line. Let's see how they handle the ball in this man up.
Holland Frost now has it and swings it over to the left side to Mertz. Mertz to Peterson. Peterson now goes back to Mertz. Radke is also in, but now here comes a ground ball pickup, and Michigan State now flying down in through the wing area, and now they'll take it and work it around into the right alley and go back in behind, and here's Mitch Newton. Newton with it, number 5 for the Spartans. He has the long goal of the day now for the Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, they're just going to kill off this penalty, and then they'll attack the goal.
Charlie Pistner had it. Good little move there by Green. Nick Green, a young sophomore, made that move as he gets in. Here's Horton. Horton, the experienced senior now for the Spartans, flips it back in to Brett Braun, and they'll work it around now in the backside, and here's Pistner. Charlie Pistner now on the right alley and back out to the top of the box, and they will set it up. Continuing now at even strength.
Nobody really wants to try Rubin anymore. I think they found out he can handle his own.
Yes, he can. 23 in white for Georgia Tech. Man, he did a very outstanding job. Stan Rubin.
Out of Etowah High School here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Sam Rubin, Woodstock, Georgia. Orton now has it.
So now they're going to a 3-1-2.
Green over on the left. Holding it backside. Here's Horton. Horton now will spin it open. And a lot of that, too, with them being patient, and we talked with Coach Cam Holden, and he said he didn't really know what he had. This is their season opener.
Right.
Tech has 6 games under their belt already.
Oh, that makes a huge difference. You know, after 6 games, you begin to learn each other's tendencies as a team, you know, where guys are going to be on the field in certain times. And when you're starting your first game, it's just a little difficult.
Ball is back out, and will be scooped up by Hunter Stevens.
I will say this, though, with Cam as their coach, Cam Holden, you know, he's got a wealth of experience and played for a lot of good coaches, so this team is going to be coached up down the road.
Sommerfeld with back-to-back saves. Rubin comes away with it. I think that's one of the more interesting dynamics of all the titles that Cam holds, and you, no pun intended, Cam holding, but that can bring so much more, but then also still actively playing the game professionally.
Yeah, and in 2 different leagues, in the indoor league and the outdoor league, which is pretty impressive. So, you know, you wonder. So he's burning the candle at a lot of ends.
He must have a wonderful staff that he put in place, and this is his first game as Michigan State head coach.
And I don't know if we mentioned, he was a 2-time All-American at Grand Valley State in Michigan.
So this is a big-time get for him.
Yep.
Tech working on offense, 11.5 to go, third quarter, and a 5-1 lead. Ben Mertz has it and goes over to the right side, and now they'll be patient with it and flip it back in as Peterson, and Peterson will peel it back out to Frost, and Frost back to the top to Radke.
I think it's kind of nice. Sun's going down. It won't be much of a factor now.
Goes around that pick, Conley. Conley into the middle, pushed in the back, shot, no, ground ball, fight for. Tech gonna come away with it. Now he's getting checked and pushed and bodied, and a shot in front, no. A stick is up in the air, ball is down. They're pushing and shoving. Tech's got it. Frost a shot. It batted off. Frost now gonna chase it down into the right alley and scoop it up, and they'll set it up. Swings it to the top now. Here's Radke. Radke over to the left to Ben Mertz. Mertz holds it, steps into the left alley, and Tech will set it up. Mertz, head on start, goes, stops, now peels it back out, fakes, got checked, shot, good.
Score.
Ben Mertz set him up. His second goal of the day, and the Jackets lead 6-1.
That was almost like a fadeaway jumper in basketball. Stepped up, backed up, and shot.
Very much so. I hear you, Bob Lombardo. Yes, it was almost like a step back. Ben Mertz, his second goal. Mertz out of Loganville, Georgia, and Grayson High School.
We have 11 local players on this Georgia Tech team. And they're all, for the most part, any of them that have been on the field have been producing.
Local product, in-state products, that's what you want. You want to continue to build on your program. In Georgia Tech, the 45th reunion will be coming up in April. And, man, I know that's just going to be a fun-filled event. Georgia Tech wins the other face-off, their second face-off. 10.5 to go, and they have a 6-1 lead.
So now they're 9-1 in face-offs. Was that Peter Yee? I didn't get his number. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Andrew Yee.
Andrew Yee, who was 21 of 23 coming in on faceoffs for the year.
And he's just a freshman. That must make the coach feel really well.
Boulder, Colorado, and Fairview High School. The lacrosse players now are coming from all stretches of the United States. Here's Michigan State now. They all operate trailing 6-1.
Again, they're being patient. But at some point, the clock's going to become their enemy.
Here's Orton. Orton shot wide to the right, no. And Michigan State will retain the possession with 9:50 to go. Into the left alley. Michigan State, and a lot of it, they have not been very aggressive, kind of being patient. Have got one or two shots right there in the middle. Of course, they got that scoring goal there from Newton. But other than that, not a lot. And you have to give Tech's defense a lot of credit. They're just taking away all those alleys and moves. There it is on that backside and that back line.
And this is a freshman, number 17 for Georgia Tech, playing defense, long pole. So he's getting his first taste of action, I believe.
C.J. Croxton, actually a sophomore out of Crofton, Maryland, and DeMatha High School. DeMatha, known for its powers in basketball.
So number 17 is Andrew DeBose. And that young man, we'll see how he handles it. Oh, nice
Sommerfeld
stop.
with the save.
Great stop.
And now a flag.
Sommerfeld didn't like that extra check.
I don't think he did either.
That our buddy Newton put on him.
And Sommerfeld has a nice build to him. You pop him, man, it's going to hurt because he's going to come right back at you.
He definitely fills out that 6x6 cage.
So Michigan State will have it now. Glad that you're with us here on Lacrosse Fire TV. Joe Hilsman, Bob Lombardo, we are in the third quarter. And here is Horton. Horton now swings it over to the left side. There's Tratt. Tratt has it back in the box, and they'll swing it back over. And there's Newton. Newton or Horton are going to try and swing it very quickly now, and it's in the box. Trying to keep that defense moving.
Always looking to get on the back door and a man up. There's a guy swinging around the back.
Horton looks for a shot. Tratt has it. Tratt
Looking
now
for
gives it over. They'll swing it. There's Vornorski. Shot. Goal!
Oh, nice shot.
Very good
Very
patience
nice.
right there. Charlie Pissner, the freshman, with his first goal of the day, and it is now 6-2.
That was a nice play because everyone was anticipating him coming back door. And he skipped past it to the other corner, and the guy was wide open. And it was a nice shot.
And the Michigan State fans now flying that Spartan flag. Exactly happy and enthusiastic about that goal being scored. It's a 4-goal game with 8:22 to go, third quarter. Plenty of time if you're Michigan State.
That's right. Plenty of time. Hate to harp on it. Be good to win a face-off if I was Michigan State.
That's not harping. That's just the facts of the matter. Face-off time. Ball popped. Tech win.
Another face-off one. He's going right down. He's going right down the gullet.
Mertz shot is wide to the right, into the back. O'Brien wins the chase to it, and Georgia Tech will retain the possession with 8:12 to go. Patrick Kearney back in defensively for the long pole of the Spartans. Here's Holland Frost. Frost a shot.
Ooh.
Good goal deflection there by Overstreet, the young freshman. Conley has it in the box. Goes back up to the top now to Holland Frost. As we go under 8 minutes, 7:57 and counting. Frost out to the top. He's being checked on defensively now by Sean O'Laughlin. O'Laughlin, who has checked in for the first time. Michigan State now going to come up on the clear. There's a check by Frost and a nice ride. He'll swing it back out. Overstreet came out of goal. Overstreet now will step up, fire it into the middle to Orton. Orton going to spin. Ball knocked away. Peterson knocked it down. It's on the ground. Conley's going to chase in there for it. Going to be scooped up by the Spartans. Now it's on the ground again. Spartans recover it. Now here comes Michigan State now with Mortensen.
That's got to be time.
Here's Orton. Orton in.
Oh, he got it in. Nope.
They called it.
They called it. Didn't get it in.
Did not get it in.
Failure to advance for you newbies to the game.
And you knew it was coming there, Bob. You felt it. There he is, Gant in the left wing area.
Well,
We'll step in, and now here comes a flag from this near side official.
Texas
It's in the box now.
doing a heck of a job riding.
Here's O'Brien. O'Brien to Radke. Radke fires it over to Conley. Conley now holding it in the box. Steps back into the right alley, and they'll fire it back to the top and set it back up. Here's Radke. Conley moving into the right.
You notice they got 7 guys on the field?
Yes.
That's because they have offside, and they're going to get penalized, so they said we might as well be
come
offside.
over anyway, yes. Here's Conley. Conley fires it across. There's Peterson. A shot. Goal!
Nice shot.
Tim Peterson, back of the net.
Freshman, Tim Peterson. Again, they were patient, Georgia Tech. Even with 7 guys out there from Michigan State, they couldn't stop them.
That's why they're the number 2 ranked team
That's
in
it.
the nation.
And now they get the advantage of a man up for 30 seconds. And it's even going to be tougher on the face-off because Michigan State will only have 1 man on a wing.
1 man in that wing area.
Or did they call it?
No, they do. They'll have 2 in there. 2 in the wing area.
Oh, maybe.
Coming over on this near wing will be number 34, Sam Euchre, a freshman.
Oh, I guess the penalty's off.
Yeah, penalty is off with that goal scored.
The goal. Yep.
6:29 to go, 7-2. Georgia Tech with a 5-goal lead here in the third quarter.
That was my bad. With a technical, they'll call it off. But if it's personal, it'll still be a goal. Still be a penalty. Oh, the
Michigan
pole
State
wins a face-off with the pole, but now he loses the ball. Oh, they said Tech pushed.
Yeah, push on Tech, so Michigan State will retain the possession. And now here is Mitch Newton. Newton now goes back in behind the cage. And he'll operate outside. Now he's got Tyler Van Schoit with him. 17 in green with Michigan State making their substitutions here. Brett Braun runs back on for the attack.
Sam Euchre's checking out.
Orton holds it. Orton fires it into the box. And now here's Newton. Michigan State being very patient.
Very patient.
Scored on their last goal, which was a man up from Charlie Pistner, a freshman. So here's Horton. Orton now will swing it, and they will stay in the alley, in the box. Nick Green in now. Green going to try and make his move. Good check defensively by Frost.
Frost is doing a real good job.
Offensively and defensively.
Right.
Great job of getting down by the ref. Got a hand from a few of the fans down there that saw it firsthand.
I'm surprised nobody's tested this freshman, number 17, yet for Tech. Andrew Du Bois.
Spain Park in Hoover, Alabama.
I'm not saying he can't handle it, but generally you like to see what he's got when someone new comes on the field. We're gonna have a slash.
And now they get it up. Here's Dubose. Ball is on the ground. Peterson there in the middle. They're going to try to keep it alive. It's in that box. They're fighting for it. Sam Ford is in there. There's Kearney pushing people around and smacking him. And now we'll finally get it as Michigan State gets the touch, and we'll check the penalty.
Oh, they called the hold.
Hold.
Thought it was gonna
The
be a
table on
slash.
the other side. So my savvy and experienced veteran, Bob Lombardo, does his best at looking at the referee's back and being able to see that whole call.
And then when I screw up, I could say, well, he's got his back to me.
He goes back to retrieve his flag. 4:17 to go, third quarter. Joel Hillsman, Bob Lombardo, glad that you're with us here on Lacrosse Fire TV.
All right, let's see if Tech can take advantage of the man up.
And just to remind you, this is the Coaches versus Cancer game, which was organized by the EMW Foundation. We'll talk more about that foundation here as we wind out that third quarter and get into the fourth quarter of what has been a pretty entertaining lacrosse game. It is 7-2 with Tech.
Very nice. And I really like this little venue they have here.
So here's Conley. Conley now going to swing it to the right. Shot, Radke, no. Overstreet has done pretty good there in goal for a freshman in his first start in the first season, game of the season.
He's done real well. I mean, you know.
Shot, Frost.
Nice stop.
Nice.
Nice stop.
Talked up the freshman who got that save, and now here they come with Kearney. They'll try to get the clear. Gives it back in. Tech again with that pressure defense. We talked about that. Here's Donovan. Donovan gets it up ahead, and now Michigan State will come, and here is Dubzitsky. Dubzitsky now. Bennett will step into the box, now come back out. Fire it over to the right, and Sparty will set it up, and here's Newton. Newton now goes back in, and he has it just in that left alley. They'll fire it back to the top, trailing by 5 goals, and here's Horton, Kevin Horton. And we've seen this now from Michigan State throughout the day, being very, 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 very patient offensively.
Tech is doing a good job of running off the field with their defensive midi when they Michigan subs.
Stevens is in. He has it, number 2 in green, as he goes back in behind. Twirls it around in the lacrosse, and he'll spin it back over now, and here's Charlie Pistner. Pistner with a goal. Came in a man-up advantage situation. Stevens now in the middle. The shot was there, didn't want to take it. Backed it back out. Michigan State has not been very aggressive. They'll work it around now, and here's Tyler Van Choy.
And Andrew Yee is playing him. He's showing you he's more than just a face-off guy.
Here is Deuce on Deuce. Yee working on Stevens. They get it to the top to Orton. Orton now spins. Good long pole defense. We talked about that earlier. Good job there by Topping. Jack Topping really playing good long pole defense out there now. He's working on Orton. Orton goes back in behind the cage. Topping still bothering as he comes around to the left of the crease.
Now he gets jumped. Ball comes
is on
out.
the ground. It's still rolling around. It'll be scooped up. And it will go over to Georgia Tech. In the wing area. And now moving into the box. Now Georgia Tech will have it with Andrew DeBose. Andrew DeBose, number 28.
Interesting to see if they're going to pick up the pace or kind of lay back and let the quarter wind down. I have a feeling they'll try to attack the goal, though. They've been pretty good about that.
Coming up on 90 seconds to go, and now the field is completely covered in shade. Or maybe the last little bit of the right alley has some sun in it.
So they're working for that last shot.
Here's Ford. Ford goes back in behind to Peterson. Peterson now back over to Ford. Ford faked the pass. Looks, there's a shot wide left. Going for that top corner.
Just missed that corner. Nice jump shot.
Tech retaining the possession in left alley. Peterson spins it back out high, and now Tech will set it up with Jack Gorman.
Minute left.
Gorman now over to Kevin Chatlin. Chatlin has gotten spot duty here as we go under a minute. Ford has it in a 7-2 game. Tech with 3 quick goals in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and since then pretty much has been in control.
Ooh.
Lost his footing, and it was taken away. Good pop there. Came in, didn't let it get it. Sam Robbins the defenseman and the midi take it away, and now here's Van Schoik. Van Schoik goes in back behind the Newton, and then Newton will come back out to Tyler. Tyler spins it in his lacrosse. Now looks and kicks it back around, and they'll work it out now with Jay Warren.
18 seconds left on the clock.
Good defensive pressure by Byers. Then boom, he got knocked. Pop, ball is on the ground. Scooped up by Sommerfeld, the goalie. With 6 seconds now, flags down all over the place.
We're going to get a trip. Looks like we're going to get a trip. Now I got to say, Sommerfeld's got to keep his cool because he kind of popped that guy in the head when he was getting up. And, you know, you got the penalty. Take the man up. Don't get yourself in trouble.
Let's see here what that call will be with 5 seconds. And both officials go and get their flags. Slash call.
Yep.
So a slash call.
So I'm anticipating Tech will hold the ball for the 5 seconds so they start the fourth quarter with the ball man up.
Yep, they will start it that way. 5 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. Tech with 2 goals here in this second half so far. 1 goal added by the Spartans. Here's Frost. Frost with 3, Frost with 2, Frost with 1 into the box. And we are at the end of the third quarter. Georgia Tech with a 7-2 lead. We'll be back for fourth quarter action right here. Lacrosse Fire TV.
This Lacrosse Fire TV broadcast is brought to you by Lace Up with LAX, ending homelessness one step at a time. CBA Sports, your sports construction specialist. A Joe for LAX, the Andrew Oswald Memorial Fund, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine, dedicated to all better.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
bring him to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
All right, we welcome you back here to Rose Stamps Field. And it is Georgia Tech taking on Michigan State, a 7-2 lead. We'll take a look here at the Georgia Tech schedule. Upcoming next for the Jackets, they're home against Alabama and Louisiana State, then travel to South Carolina before being back home against Mississippi and Georgia. That's coming up here for Georgia Tech. We'll take a look quickly here at Michigan State. They'll just stay down south and take on Auburn and head back up north. They'll take on Liberty and Virginia Tech, Davenport, which is a conference game for them, and then at Pittsburgh, at Central Michigan, at Oakland, and then home against Toledo. So a road-heavy schedule for the Spartans.
They got 3 games this week alone. So they got their work cut out for them. By the time they get home, their legs are going to be pretty tired.
They got their work cut out here as we begin the fourth quarter. No face-off. Georgia Tech, a man up. Georgia Tech in the white, moving right to left. And Sparty from Michigan State, they are all in the green with the white numbers. Joel Hillsman, Bob Lombardo, glad that you're with us. Lacrosse Fire presentation of the Coaches versus Cancer East Coast game here live in Atlanta, Georgia. At the top, there's Holland Frost, a shot low, wide to the right. Frost already has 2 goals in this contest. He got the goal scoring started very quickly in that first quarter, scoring the first 2 goals in just over a minute and 5 seconds. Frost at the top, swings it to the left of Peterson. Peterson now back to Holland Frost. Frost, a skilled individual. He's out of Pope High School in Marietta, Georgia, and played quarterback for the Pope Greyhound football team while in high school. Now a junior shot, goal, O'Brien scores.
Nice shot, O'Brien. Backdoor coming off the X. Nobody saw him. Just stepped up and let it go.
At 14-14, it is Chris O'Brien, who came in with 14 goals. Give him his first one of the day. At 16 goals, and he's the 3rd team all-conference attack last year, and he's a good one. He's a scholar athlete as well for this Georgia Tech lacrosse squad.
Yeah, quarterback. You mentioned that earlier. The USA lacrosse team at one time had, I think they had 13 former quarterbacks on their roster.
You think that transitions well to the lacrosse game?
Yeah, because of the field vision.
There you go. Field, speaking of, the vision from here, a beautiful breeze coming in. Temperature now about around 64 degrees, but the field now is completely in shade, and a very good crowd, a good Michigan State Sparty crowd that has showed up, and then Georgia Tech crowd here as well.
You got snowbirds down here.
Michigan State in the green working now, and will need to get past the midfield line. Donovan swings it to the back, and they'll hold it back now, and bringing it up will be Bennett Timzinski.
Telling you, I've been impressed with Georgia Tech's ride today. They're not letting it eat Michigan clear the ball very easy.
Timzinski had to bring it across, and they advance it into the front now, and Tyler Van Schoik. Van Schoik had it in behind, and now Mitch Newton has it behind.
I think Newton's going to have to step up and do take care of some business.
Yeah, Newton has one goal. It came in the second quarter at the 5:49 mark, was the first goal of the season for Michigan State. As we mentioned, Michigan State, this is their season opener.
Well, when you're a young team and you have an All-American, you kind of look to him to, make things happen. It's probably a lot of pressure, but I'm sure he's up for the challenge.
And we've talked about that with Donovan and his play in defense. He's also the All-American defenseman, returning 22.
Yes.
So he has pulled his weight there defensively as far as picking up the youthful team. And you do look, this is a very youthful Michigan State bunch. Tratt had it in the middle, pass intercepted.
Nice knockdown by
Cryon. No, check
Brian
it, that's
Duffy.
not Cryon. I'm sorry.
Brian
That's
Duffy.
Brian Duffy. Freshman Duffy all the way, shot, saved in front, Overstreet covers, in the crease. Tech went deep in the bench there on me. Duffy, good play.
Duffy taking it right on the doorstep, end to end.
Possession will go over to the Yellow Jackets. Tech with an 8-2 lead on State.
I think we had an offside.
Offside call. We are opposite the table. Ford has it and swings it over in that right alley to O'Brien back into Peterson. Peterson flips it over now to Conley, and they'll set it up. He spins it back to Grant, and Grant now gives it over to Ford. Ford flares it over now. Here's Jack Gorman, a freshman in now out of Loyola Academy. He moves in, shot, bounce to the right. No, Peterson gets it in. They tried to get it in the middle. Ground ball scooped up. Here come the Spartans with J.T. Hudson. Hudson now going to cross the midfield line. Hudson now going to be coming angling toward the box. Hudson dumps it off. There's a pass. Shot. No, it's on the ground. A blown opportunity on the break to head of 2-on-1. Here comes Ford back, coming back, clearing through the wing area. Ford all the way up for the Jackets with 11:40 to go. He'll come in to the box, and now Tech will set it up and try and get more points. O'Brien has it back in behind the cage and swings it over to Peterson.
I'll tell you what, that was some good action. That was a nice save by the goalie for Tech.
Sommerfeld also.
Nice stop.
Yeah, he's also a Pope Greyhound. He was a teammate with Highland Frost in high school. And the Pope Greyhounds now, just speaking of them and talking about Georgia Tech having their 45th anniversary, Pope still trying to get them a state championship. They've had 3 runner-up finishes since 2011.
Actually, I coached against Pope our second year at Peachtree Ridge. We played them in the second round. We hosted them in a playoff game.
That's not why I dropped that knowledge, but hey, there it is right there. So you know firsthand about that Pope Greyhound.
They're a good team.
Lacrosse program moving in. Good checking going on. There's a shot.
Nice
Kevin
shot.
Chatlin.
Kevin Chatlin, a freshman out of Richmond, Montgomery High School.
Who has had spot duty throughout this game, and he has cashed it in now with a goal at 10:44 in the fourth. Largest lead of the day now for the Jackets. They're up 7 on Sparty.
Time's going to become a factor now. Now the clock is a factor.
Enjoyed the Tech pep, man. After that goal.
You got the big head.
Yeah, got us a big
head.
head down there, fat head. Yeah, who is that? I do want to know who that is. A Tech fan has that fat head, and that's wonderful. Just love it.
Are we going to get fat heads?
Maybe one day.
Well,
hey, you know what? What we can do is we can ask our viewers on Lacrosse Fire TV to drum that up for us. Maybe we can get some fat head. When Joel and Bob show up, you know it's good lacrosse. How about that?
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about right there. 9-2, 10.5 to go. The entire crew here on La Crossfire TV. Glad that you're with us. More college action coming up on La Crossfire TV. Kennesaw State will take on Lindenwood Bellevue out of Illinois. And then these Tech Yellow Jackets and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Ooh, home cooking game right there.
In football, they call it clean old-fashioned hate. We got to figure out what they call it in lacrosse.
I don't think it's much different.
Oh, okay. I'll take that right there
I don't think
with
it's much different at all.
It's still clean old-fashioned hate. Peterson's shot is no. Tech won that face-off again, by the way. 10:20 to go.
Oh,
and there's a flag.
we got a
And
trip.
Michigan State now will come in. Well, they try to keep it in now and see if they can score. Trailing 9-2 and substitutions being made.
Oh, did Tech win that, did you say?
Yeah, Tech won that last face-off.
Okay. Keep my stats right.
Move it to the right. And they'll hold it back in behind. And here is Newton. Van Choik lost his lacrosse behind the cage, and now that will kill it. And we'll check this penalty. Was it a cross check or was it a slash? Let's see.
I don't know.
He stood right where we couldn't see him
I think
from the light. What was that
I
signal?
think it was. I think it was a slash to the head, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I saw a point to the head,
Point
so
to the
yes,
head,
it could
but I
be.
didn't
So let's
see what
see.
he did before that.
Either way, Michigan State now is a man up. So here's Newton. Newton swings it over to Braun. Braun now backs over to Orton, and Braun now will take it. Here's Newton. Newton now back to Orton. Orton looks, sip, shot, goal.
Nice shot.
Got it right by Summerfeld.
High
Third goal of the day, and we talked about it. Kevin Orton, the senior, with that experience with the goal.
He did a nice job of changing direction on a shot, taking it low to high. That makes it tough on the goalie. You know, the young players got to learn that. You can't just stay high to high or low to low. You got to change the altitude of the shot.
Interesting enough now, Michigan State with 3 goals, Bob, 2 of them with a man-up advantage.
Right. Penalties can be costly like that. Tech's got to play smart.
9:31 to go. Tech in the white, State in the green, of course. It's on the ground. Ground ball pickup. Trying to get the face-off win. Still has not been won yet. Fight for it over in the left alley. They fall down on each other. They still fight for it. It will come down and go to
Michigan
State.
Pushing the back.
So Michigan State now will take it.
So far, that poll's been effective on the face-offs. Those are the 2 they've won.
Yes, it is.
Was that 35?
So here's Orton. Orton now spins into the right alley. Just to remind you, if you're taking a look there, it is the yellow lines that we're playing by under collegiate rules here on the field. And Roy Stamps Field. Roy Stamps Field, and a beautiful skyline here in downtown Atlanta. Michigan State and Georgia Tech in the Coaches versus Cancer Classic here on the East. It'll go over to Georgia Tech, a turnover there by Michigan State. We talked about it earlier in the contest of how Georgia Tech likes to push the tempo and also use that pressure defense. We saw that quick, fast, and early. They've kind of been a little bit more patient offensively when they've gotten it down.
Oh yeah, they have been, and now they're going to let the Tech goalie clear the ball, and he does.
Summerfeld with the clear. It'll go over to Michigan State now. Michigan State with Nick Green. Green now twirls it over, and here's Track. Mark Track into the box and down in the alley to Newton.
Newton again on the wing.
Pops it back to the top to Orton. Under 8 minutes to go now. Trailing by 6 goals. Orton spins it, wasn't there. They'll fire it all the way around the back behind the cage and come back out on this right side. There's the jab and a move.
They haven't had a lot of success coming down the alley, Michigan State. Georgia Tech's been doing a good job of shutting the door there.
Van Choik put it on the ground back behind, and now here's Track. Track will be able to scoop it up. Mark Track, a junior out of DeWitt, Michigan, being popped pretty hard now as they take it in behind the cage. Tech, again, long pole defense, being very outstanding. David Sidron there, 35 on that back line as well. Topping has had himself a pretty fine day as well.
And Ruben's been playing with good defense.
Out at the head now.
Oh.
Brian Wagner
Kick save and a beauty.
has checked in for Georgia Tech in white, number 4. And he will run off now.
I always wanted to say that, kick save and a beauty.
Kick save and a beauty. Sommerfeld, another save.
That's
Get
right.
it across now. Here's Will Byers. Byers, the defenseman, will get it across, and now he'll retreat back behind the midfield line. And now Tech will set it up, 6:45, and now they really can eat on that clock and be patient with it. Peterson back in behind, and they'll rotate and come back this way. There's Ben Mertz. Mertz catches it over from Conley. He's over in the left alley. Mertz steps into the box. Mertz now going to move, goes around that pick from Frost. It wasn't there, and they was going to chase all the way around and spin it back. They'll come back weaving it with Radke. Radke twirling it in his cross and goes over to Frost. Tech patient now, 6:20.
There it is. Going back behind the X. Taking
Mertz into the box. Goes to the right. Here's Radke. Radke around that Mertz pick. Shot. Long.
It was a pretty long shot for Radke.
Very long shot.
It was almost a 20-yarder. Oh.
And now we've lost power on the scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
Across the way.
Oh, that's not good.
It is not good. Official caught it. And all of a sudden, with the dust now coming, beautiful shot here in this facility. The lights are on, but now we've lost power, and we are somewhere in the 4th quarter.
You don't think Georgia Tech didn't pay the power bill? What the heck?
Speaking of pay the bill, let us pay one. At Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, the sports medicine team doesn't just treat the pain from sports injuries. They work with young athletes to fix the problem and teach proper sports mechanics. When you choose Children's, you're in hands of specialists who understand how to help young athletes get back in the game. Visit choa.org/sportsmed to learn more. We are now in a stoppage situation as we do not have a working scoreboard across the way. And that is our Daktronic scoreboard. Love those scoreboards. They were able to find some red lights and
lights
some
are
power
popping
to
on
it.
now. Take a minute for them to set it back up, get the score and the time. Oh, here it is, 6:03. Nothing. Nope.
The SELC, Southeastern Lacrosse Conference, has 22 Division I teams and 22 Division teams, and that is the conference in which the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets play in. We're back to action under 6 minutes with a working scoreboard. Tech now having it with Holland Frost. And Frost will hold with over to Radke. Radke goes back in behind the crease in the cage to Peterson. Peterson to Mertz. Mertz has had himself a pretty fine day as well. 2 goals on the day for Ben Mertz, a senior out of Lindenville, Georgia. Mertz back out to the top, being worked on by Tyler Mortensen. Mortensen, 14 in green, peels it back around, and now here's Conley. Conley now moving into the middle. Conley had a shot, didn't take it. Radke will, shot wide to the right. Good save.
Nice stop.
Overstreet, young freshman, he's grown up today.
He has. He's handled his stuff well.
5:11 to go, less than that now. State trailing by 6. They've been behind the entire day.
And here
Tech got on the board very quickly in the first minute.
Oh, Georgia Tech. Oh, they didn't.
Scooped up.
Ball was on the ground momentarily, but Michigan got it back.
Mark Track was able to recover it. Here's Newton. Newton with a little pirouette. Spin, shot, goal!
Score. There he is.
Mitch Newton, a little pirouette going to that left, the right, spun it in and found the back of the cage. It's 9-4.
I said Newton had to pick it up, and he did.
I like Newton. Newton and Horton. Looks like those are the guys you're going to have to really lean on, that senior leadership. Mitch Newton, a senior out of Rockford, Michigan, and Kevin Horton, a senior out of Clarkston, Michigan. Justin Overstreet, also a young freshman, has played a lot today. Young sophomore Hunter Stevens has played. Patrick Donovan, a sophomore, the All-American out of Forest Hill Central, Michigan. He's played very well there from his depot spot.
All right, Tech wins that face-off. First time that long pole's lost.
They've dominated that face-off a lot today. Andrew Yee, Boulder, Colorado, and a young freshman for Tech in on that face-off win. Tech now 4.5 minutes away from winning their 7th straight game to open the season. They still are ranked number 2 in the nation. Michigan State opening at number 14. Across, O'Brien, a shot. Oh, Overstreet, make sure he deflected that off.
O'Brien would love to have that one back. He knew it right after he let go.
Chris O'Brien with 1 goal today, giving him 15 on the season, and we talked about him earlier. Scholar athlete, playing well. Ford gets it in now, and here's O'Brien. Under 4 minutes to go, 9-4. Georgia Tech with the lead. Trying to hold off Sparty.
O'Brien's their second leading scorer. Oh, that was a nice look coming across the front of the cage.
It's recovered by Tech. Conley will have it, with 3:40 to go. Now he's over in this left alley. Goes back in behind. There's Peterson. Tim Peterson, 21 points, and a freshman out of Needham, Massachusetts.
Oh, we're getting a slash here.
Need to go ask him, can he get some clam chowder? Love the Northeast and Needham with the clam chowder.
There it is.
Put it in, Sam Ford, the junior out of Geneva, Illinois.
Picked it up off the ground and put it in the back of the net. Nice play by Ford.
Sam Ford with the goal, and that pushes it out now to 10-4 with 3:21 to go here in this 4th quarter. The Tech pep band has been very fun. They've went ahead and busted out those beats 10 times. 10 goals for the Yellow Jackets, and they lead the Spartans 10-4 now face-off time, which has been dominated all day by the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Andrew Yee.
Peter Yee's been putting on a clinic. Andrew Yee.
Violation. It will go over to Tech. Violation there on Donovan. Donovan, the deep hole I was just talking about, face-off guy as well. He and Cheek going at it right there at the midfield line. We'll go over to Tech. Tech in full control now, the final 3:14. Jared Gant was in, and now we'll spin it back out to the top. Stepping into the box now, Will Clayton, the young freshman out of North Gwinnett High School in Suwanee, Georgia, getting his first burn. Shot low, scooped up in front, Overstreet. Justin Overstreet, again, the young freshman has grown up today for the Spartans, even though he's given up 10 goals. Georgia Tech's season average of goals scored a game, 14.6. We showed you their schedule earlier. Season high, 21 goals in their first game.
I think Michigan State got called for a delay of game.
2:57 to go. Table on the opposite side. And Tech is a man up. So Frost now spins it to Conley, and now just try to work some more of that wonderful clock. It is just bleeding for the number 2 ranked Yellow Jackets. Sends it back in behind. Radke will fire it over to Peterson. Peterson in the box. Dumps it over in the front to O'Brien. O'Brien tries to go in the middle. Shot goal! And assist to Will Conley.
Brian Conley puts it in the back of the net.
Brian Conley, a beautiful play out of Warwick, New York, excuse me. Good ball movement. Peterson saw him, and Conley fired it in there.
Nice assist. Very nice play. Nice to see your goals, your top scorers continuing the trend.
11-4, Georgia Tech with the lead. 2:34 to go, 4th quarter. And Conley has his second goal of the day. He scored to open that second quarter, and now will that be the final goal of the day for Tech all the way? Will he close the book on this one? We'll see. 11-4, and Tech defensively only allowing 4.3 goals a game, so sitting right there on that average. Michigan State now will have it into the front. Here's Newton. There's a flag down. Newton will go in. He's worked on deep back behind by Danny Coughlin, who's checked in, a senior out of Marist. Shot, goal, inside Newton again.
It's Newton.
Oh, Newton heating up now. 2 goals here in this 4th quarter, and that is his 3rd goal of the game. It's 11-5. Georgia Tech with the lead.
Well, see, they win a face-off, they score a goal.
That does help. And Georgia Tech has dominated the face-offs today. And you talk about this Michigan State squad and Coach Cam Holden. This is his first year. And you talked about the schedule at Auburn, at Liberty, at Virginia Tech. When you have these long trips like this, you're going to build that team bonding.
Yep.
And hopefully they can get it together, get this. Listen, Tech is a top 3 team, a top 2 team.
Right.
Michigan State, long season, will try to use this one in the archives to get better.
Well, let me just say, I don't think Michigan State embarrassed themselves out here. I just think that, you have a Georgia Tech team that is pretty well stocked.
And played very well.
Right.
And that's one thing we'd like to mention. We've talked about the local connection to the Atlanta area in reference to Georgia Tech.
11 players.
That shows the growth
Yes.
of lacrosse in the South region and in Georgia in particular, because Tech is ranked number 2 in the nation.
That's right. So it bodes well for Metro Atlanta lacrosse. And hence why Lacrosse Fire TV is bringing so many nice games.
That's right. And I mean, not to overstate this Michigan State squad. You go up and down their roster, and they're pulling them from Michigan. A lot of Detroit Catholic Central guys there. Going to have to put it together. Very, very young team, as we've talked about at length.
They went down to Maryland, though, to find a goalie. Minute 17 left in the game. Nice stop.
Mark Track on that shot for the Spartans. Here comes the long pole with it for the Jackets
Picked
of
up
Prime.
by Will Byers. He's been having a great game, I think.
Here's Mertz. Mertz up close, being forced out of bounds. Into Peterson. Peterson, 1 minute. 1 minute to go, fourth quarter. Peterson in. Gives it over. Scooped up in the back now, and here's O'Brien. O'Brien now moves to the right. O'Brien looks.
Box.
Moves. O'Brien shot. It's low. Possession will go to Georgia Tech. It'll stay with Tech with Peterson with 48 seconds. When the Georgia Tech crowd and the band will probably get ready to let out some noise as Tech will now moments away, seconds away from improving to 7-0. Conley now holds it back in behind, working on that clock, less than 30 seconds now. Here's O'Brien. Very impressed by this Georgia Tech team, and man, they got this thing over with quickly.
Yes.
Jumped on them very quickly. 3 goals in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds for the Jackets, 2 from Holland Frost and then 1 from Ben Mertz. They give them a 3-0 lead, and they've been on their way since then. As Tech now will hold it with Mertz. And we're running out the clock, 2-1. And the first East Coast Coaches for Cancer
game is
in the books.
Exactly.
Georgia Tech with an 11-5 victory over Michigan State. Speaking, Bob, of Lacrosse Fire TV, here are some upcoming Lacrosse Fire TV broadcasts for you on Lacrosse Fire TV. March 7th at 5:45, it'll be the North Gwinnett Bulldogs taking on the Lassiter Trojans. Then on March 9th at 6:30, it'll be the Northview Titans taking on the Decatur Bulldogs. And then on March 15th at 6 p.m., the McIntosh Chiefs and the St. Pius Golden Lions. Those are our upcoming broadcasts on Lacrosse Fire TV, and we're glad that we were able to have the East Coast Coaches versus Cancer game organized from EMW Foundation. Now that foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit operated by SLC and MCLA National Championship Director. This 3-week campaign hopes to raise $15,000 in direct support to the American Cancer Society through its popular Coaches versus Cancer effort. Open to all levels, the program is led by MCLA teams who use it as a team community service project, and that, Bob, was very visible here earlier in the day from the people here at Georgia Tech, as we have a perfect look at the sportsmanship shake from both teams in this 11-5 Georgia Tech victory.
It was a really well-played game. Beautiful day. Tech has showed you why they're number 2 in the country. Michigan State showed out pretty well, but they have work to do. They're a young team. And like you mentioned earlier, 3 games over the next 6 days, they'll have a lot of time to get more work done.
That fourth quarter was our highest scoring quarter. We went in at 7-2, and we came out at 11-5. In that first quarter, Georgia Tech got it started with Holland Frost. He had 2 goals, and then Ben Mertz added a goal. It was 3-0 Georgia Tech. Then went on to the second quarter. Georgia Tech went up 4-0 on a goal from Brian Conley. Conley made it 4-0. Michigan State stopped that bleeding and got on the board, and we talked about it. Mitch Newton, the senior, he had that long goal for Michigan State there. And then for Georgia Tech, Danny Ratke finished it off. Georgia Tech led 5-1 in that at halftime, and from there just kind of took over 5 goals in that first, and then 6 there, and then second. Holland Frost with 2 goals, Mertz with 2 goals, Connolly with 2 goals as well for Georgia Tech, and then Kevin Chapman, a young freshman out of Olney, Maryland, and Richard Montgomery got him a goal as well for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. 7-0, number 2 in the nation, and they're coming over here to have fun with the fans and the bands here, and a beautiful, beautiful afternoon and evening, and a beautiful day for lacrosse here from Rose Stamps Field.
Well, I was impressed with Georgia Tech's defense and the way they handled the face-offs. They did a really nice job.
Command of the face-offs all day. Unofficial count, I had it at 12-4. Unofficial count there, Georgia Tech.
That's what I would say, 12-4.
On the face-offs there, and they just dominated all day, just up and down the lineup. Everybody did very well. Matthew Sommerfeld coming in, we talked about it, 72% from, at the save percentage, and man, he played very well today.
Oh, excellent. And you like to see that. You like to see that. You know, when you're a defenseman or playing defensive midi, and you know you got that kind of goalie behind you, you work a little harder.
Yeah, and also speaking of goalie, we talked about it in the broadcast. Justin Overstreet, the young freshman. Remember, this is the first game of the year for Michigan State. They fought 0-1 freshman in net.
Oh, I thought he showed out real well for first game of his college career. He did well.
Got hit really quick in those first 2 minutes, but then kind of settled down there. But Georgia Tech, as you can see, why they're ranked number 2 in the nation. They flexed their muscles when they were able to flex them, got up ahead, and as they say, they beat who they were supposed to beat.
Yep, and they once they got ahead, they didn't like take their foot off the gas. They just kept playing, and that's a tribute to a good team, not to let down.
So Coach Ken Lovick's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets improved to 7-0, and they still will be number 2 in the nation. And coming up next for them will be Alabama. Michigan State falls to 0-1 under head coach Cam Holding, who loses his season debut, but the future looks bright for him, and they look like they're going to have a pretty good year over in the CCLA.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Lovick, and we talked a little bit in the beginning of the game, but he's had quite a career here. He was the Coach of the Year in 2000. Won the SELC Service Award, and is the current president of the MCLA. So he's a busy man. He has a wife and a son, lives here in Atlanta, and he's been inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Georgia chapter of U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame. And he's won the Excellence in Growing the Game Award, something I share with him. He won it in 211, I won it in 215.
Yeah, that's how you do it, and that's why you are with me. He's Bob Lombardo. I'm Joel Hilsman. This has been a presentation of Lacrosse Fire TV. Glad that you're with us and have joined us for this broadcast. Georgia Tech, 11-5 over Michigan State. For Bob, I'm Joel Hilsman. We'll see you down the road right here on Lacrosse Fire TV.
Good night.